So today I'm talking about where you're supposed to begin when you are starting your next diet. And the problem that I see with so many women is the overwhelm of all of the different diets that are out there, all of the different things that you could possibly be doing in order to be able to lose weight, whether it's low carb or high protein or increased fiber or counting calories or counting macros or high fat. All of these different modalities can really cause overwhelm and in your mind, and honestly make you feel like you can't start anywhere because you don't even know where to start. And today I want you to think about, if you didn't have to start with a rule, if you didn't have to start with something that everybody else was starting with, where would you actually begin? And what I'm going to share with you today is how you know where to begin for your body, for how you want to feel, how to honor your body instead of force your body into weight release in a way that is sustainable and easy for you to implement without overthinking and knowing that you are going to get the result that you want to have. And that process of figuring it out is a part of my signature program, the Energetic Eating Method, which I invite you to book an empowerment call with me after this live training so that we can talk about how this pathway can help you release weight naturally and for a lifetime of health. Now, I know you might be thinking another place I could start might be a GLP-1. Great. So a lot of women I work with end up going to there or starting there and still need support with the holistic qualities of releasing weight, the part of yourself that gives you the mind effery of, am I going to have to do this forever? What am I supposed to eat? How do I eat so that I can feel good, even though I'm taking medication? Should I feel shame around this medication? All of those are also questions that women ask me when they're thinking about starting a diet. So if that's you, you're also not alone, and I am 100% here to support you. So today, let's learn a little bit more about how to listen to your body, where to start with your dietary and lifestyle needs, no matter what, no matter whether you're on medication, no matter you have to lose 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 5 pounds, whatever it is. Today's live training is just going to tell you where you should start in order to have the best success that you can possibly have. Okay, so if that sounds good to you, even on the replay, I want you to say, awesome, let's begin, because I don't want you to miss this. And I want to see who's listening so that I know who is ready to take charge of their health and move on with freedom. After this training, I am going to invite anybody who's watching and listening into my private Zoom room to ask me questions. This is something that I'm going to offer this group every single week. The date and time might change, but the flow of me introducing a topic, telling you a little bit about what you can change, and then inviting you into an open Q&A with me for 15 minutes will always be the same. This is called Beyond the Diet. It's with me, Helen Burney, the founder of this group, and it is an honor to be here to lead you today to help you understand from an expert's point of view where it is that you can start in order to begin your weight release journey without looking for another one of those fad diet rules. Okay, so let's begin. The first thing you want to ask yourself is, should I start in my mind? Should I start in my mind? When we start with our mind, what we're telling ourselves is that I am worthy of listening to the things that I say to myself that get me to feel motivated. Most of us walk around trying to motivate ourselves by saying, I'm so fat, these clothes don't fit, I'm not worthy of wearing that outfit, I've let myself go. And all of these thoughts that you have are running around in your mind trying to get you to make change. But there is no world in which you can speak negatively to yourself to that extent that your body will continue to get on board with you creating change. There is no world in which you can sustain change even after losing weight on a GLP-1 and you wanting to have no more medication or being on a maintenance dose, where that kind of thinking in your head will lead to sustainable change. So what I want you to consider for yourself right now is, what do I think about my body? What do I think about food? Do I trust myself? And do I talk to myself with kindness or with pressure? And the problem with these types of things, if you're saying, I don't think positively about my body, I think that food is a way for me to cope with stressful feelings. I don't trust myself around food or to exercise, and I don't speak to myself kindly. If you are answering all of those questions in that way, then the place, honestly, that you need to start, and can only take one day of practicing this and dedicating yourself to speaking to yourself differently every single day for the rest of your life, is the place that you need to start. And 99% of the women that I work with need to start there. 99%. Some of them come in and they're like, I have body love and self-compassion, and I just don't understand why my eating is getting in the way of me living my life. Awesome. We'll start there then. Okay. But for most of us, it's really in the thoughts that we have about ourselves, because if you don't get that healthy, you are not going to be sustained what I'm going to, not going to be able to sustain what I'm going to share with you next. Okay. The next thing that you're going to ask yourself is, how is my mood? So you check in with your mood. How am I feeling? Am I feeling like I'm anxious, overwhelmed? Am I feeling a little flat or reactive? Am I blaming myself for those things? Do I feel like it's the context of my life that's making me feel those things? How do I use different coping mechanisms like food or phone scrolling or staying up watching TV late at night? Or sleeping in until the last moment of my day. All of those types of things can cause us to have an imbalanced mood, right? So that anxiousness, overwhelm, flat feeling, reactivity, using food to cope, all leads us to understand more deeply what it is that's affecting our mood. And the two things that I help women with inside the energetic eating method that are really important for you to balance your mood. And if your mood is the number one thing, you're like, this really sucks and I want to get out of my head, and it's really hard for me to get through the day without losing my SHIT, then where I want you to start and where I help women is to start with balancing your blood sugar and getting adequate rest. Balancing your blood sugar and getting adequate rest are really important for you to balance the hormones in your body so that you can reduce inflammation, improve your mood, and as a result, you release weight. I'll tell you what, when I was in a crappy mood before I put myself through the program that I'm sharing with you guys right now, program that I came up with in order to balance my body so that I could release weight naturally, honestly, I was flying off the handle. I was coming home from work and like falling face first into bed. I would feel really short tempered with my kids, with my spouse. And it just felt like by the end of the day, all I wanted was some me time. That's it. And I felt super tired and cranky most of the time. I'll tell you what, that was before perimenopause. So that type of dysregulation, if you're feeling it in perimenopause, is even more important now for you to get adequate sleep and balance your blood sugar. And if that's something that you're struggling with, then working with me and looking at the guide that I'm going to share at the end of this live training, or joining me for the Q&A after this training, is going to be incredibly important for you so that you can start that today. You don't have to feel that way. And instead of going to a diet, that is the strategy that you need to focus on: sleep and blood sugar. And that's it. That will kickstart you into the rest of it and help you feel better almost immediately, and you will see results quickly. The other place that I want you guys to pay attention to, and the other place you might want to start depending on your body, is with your digestion. If you have gas, bloating, indigestion, heartburn, you feel heaviness, you feel bloated in your clothes and that your clothes don't fit because you're carrying inflammation, if you feel irregular in your bowel movements, and that's a priority for you, that's like your biggest stressor, you can't stand it anymore, you want to resolve that, then I'm going to share with you a couple of things that you can do right now today. And this is where you should start your weight release journey, is in this exact place. Okay. And this is also a place where a lot of people who go on GLP-1s complain that their digestive issues start to pop up and really bother them because they're taking this medication, and the way that it's processed in their body can cause digestive issues. So this is where I want anybody with digestive issues to start, so that you can sustain your weight release journey from a place of awareness and taking on the most difficult thing that's going on in your body. And if that's digestion, I have a couple of suggestions for you. First thing, are you getting 6 cups of vegetables in your diet per day? Are you getting 6 cups of varied types of vegetables in your diet? That means, are you getting colorful starches like sweet potatoes or things like squash, other colorful things like carrots? Are you getting green like broccoli, kale, other leafy greens like lettuce or spinach? Are you getting um, things like tomatoes, more acidic types of vegetables as a fruit, but are you getting things like mushrooms, onions, and garlic? Getting all of those different types of vegetables is going to help improve your microbiome and digestibility. It has prebiotic, probiotic fiber, artichokes, amazing for your digestive system. And if this sounds overwhelming, how the heck am I going to get 6 cups of vegetables in? Think about what I just said, right? Like a homemade tomato sauce includes a lot of those things. Throw some mushrooms in there, throw some onions in there, throw some garlics in there, throw some spinach in there, right? You grab a cup of that to put on top of pasta. That's already, if pasta works for your body, that's already, like 2 cups, right? Because I'm talking about in their whole form. You whittle it down into a sauce or a soup. Oh my God, that's like packed with fiber and nutritional content and vitamins and minerals. They're going to purge out inflammation so that your gut health can start to improve immediately. The other thing you want to do is to look out for things that do cause inflammation. Are you aware enough? Are you aware of your body? If you lack that awareness, just writing down what you eat, not with macros or calories or anything like that, or measurements of food, just write it down and write, how do you feel afterward? How do I feel after I have pasta? Before I eat it, during or after I eat it, like an hour or two later? How do I feel? If I'm feeling sluggish and lethargic, that means that that particular food, or if you feel gassy or bloated, can't process in your body, um, given the environment, the gut environment that you uniquely have. All of us has this unique environment in our gut that is bio-individual, and it's important for you to understand that what you eat is going to be different for you than what somebody else is going to eat. I can't process more than 3 servings of gluten per week. If I have more than that, I will get brain fog. What does that have to do with my gut health? Because gluten won't process in my gut as quickly as other grains or as animal protein, which processes in my body really, really well. Some people can't have red meat because the acidity in it causes them inflammation. And guess what, guys? You don't have to figure that out on your own. That's why I'm an expert in here telling you exactly what I do to be able to help people figure it out. So if this feels overwhelming at all, you've got someone in your corner today on the Q&A after this live training, or you can book an empowerment call with me so that I can help you figure this out and take you down a pathway where you don't have to struggle with this anymore. The other piece of digestion, which surprises a lot of people, is your gut motility, which has to do with exercise. So if you're not strength training 2 to 3 times per week, or getting somewhere between 45 and 75 minutes of cardiovascular exercise per week, then you aren't having enough gut motility that's going to help move food through your body so that you can eliminate or allow vitamins and minerals and nutrients to spread into your cells in your body. So you want to look out for that. The other benefit of exercise, obviously increasing your metabolism, your heart health, your muscle mass, all of those things that we need in order to be able to have a healthy body, also really important. So if those things are issues, then I want you to start there, okay? The next place that you're going to think about is brain fog. If brain fog is your #1 priority, you're like, oh my God, I can't take it anymore. My brain is just so muddy. I'm tired. I can't see, through the fog in my eyes, and I get confused, and I walk into a room and I forget what I need, and I'm just so frustrated with it, and I want to lay my head down, and I'm so tired of this forgetfulness. I just don't know what to do with myself anymore. If that's how you really feel, then this, what I'm about to share with you, is exactly where you should start on your weight release journey. Not with the digestion, not with the mood, but with what I'm about to share with you right now, because this is your key to your health, to your bioindividuality, to where you need to start in order to have this journey work out for you. So what do you need in order to improve your focus? If you're not clear-headed, you're foggy, distracted, or mentally tired, your brain needs fuel and your brain needs calm. You have an overactive brain. You have a body system that is not lubricating your brain in the way that it needs to be. And the nutrients that you're lacking are healthy fats like avocado, avocado oil, nuts, seeds, olive oil, if I didn't say that yet, olives, chia seeds, flax meal. These types of things, when included in your diet, can actually help reduce inflammation in the brain and help you think more clearly. But we're so used to thinking about protein as being the hero, or fiber as being the hero, or eating less as being the hero, and even thinking that fat is bad for you and you have to monitor how much you use. It's not true. If you're dealing with brain fog, you've got to increase your healthy fats, and I want you to focus on that like 100%. Am I getting enough healthy fats in my diet? Because if I'm not and I start somewhere else, then it may not work for the long haul, because I want you to feel good now. I want you to feel your best right now by incorporating the things that are going to work best for you. The other part of focus is incorporating a midday, or excuse me, a morning routine. Midday is going to be next. A morning routine. If you're foggy during the day and the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is scroll, 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 or yank yourself out of bed, have a cup of coffee, get your kids ready for school, or sit down to work, or whatever it is, without any kind of calm, waking up the nervous system, allowing yourself to have peace for even a few minutes in the morning, you will suffer from brain fog. You will. That is going to spike your cortisol early in the morning. You're going to crash, have sugar cravings. You're not going to feel good. You're going to put on weight easily, increase inflammation, and that cycle is going to keep going. So you might think, well, Helen, I'm struggling with weight, right? And what does brain fog have to do with it? Because that's how you feel if what you're doing is working or not. And if the brain fog is really taking over your body, then what you need to do in order to release weight easily is to focus on the healthy fats and the morning routine, period. Start there. Start there. Finally, your energy levels. If you have energy levels that are up and down, or if you wake up and you're tired, or you feel like wired late at night, then your energy is going to be completely compromised from these very two important things that I'm going to share with you. Number one, how's your caffeine intake? If you are drinking coffee throughout the entire day, you are burning out your adrenals, and that's going to leave you feeling tired in the morning. Okay. If you can shut off caffeine, for me, it's between 1 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I can't drink it after that, or I will not be able to go to bed, or I will wake up in the middle of the night. Some people say, you know what, I can have coffee and it's not a problem for me. And I have it in the middle of the day and I go to sleep fine. And then they still wake up tired the next day. Well, guess what? It's still impacting your circadian rhythm, and it's worth you shutting it down sometime between 1 and 2 to start. Just see if you can do it. Have a green tea by 4 o'clock, or a matcha by 4. I can usually tolerate that and be fine. But for most of us, having coffee that late in the day really disrupts the adrenals. It affects the cortisol, it affects your metabolism, your blood sugar, your ability to sleep, which brings us back to mood. So then you're dealing with sugar, right? So it's all connected to each other. It's just finding that piece of the puzzle that works for you. The other part for energy levels is what I just said, is that caffeine is usually the hero in the middle of the day. I want you to make a midday break the hero in the middle of the day. That means you get up from your desk, you go for a walk, you get a drink of water without your phone, you take some deep breaths, you put your hands on your eyes, you breathe deeply, you take care of yourself, you allow your shoulders to relax, you go for a meal and you sit and you really enjoy your meal. There's so many different ways to take a break, and we just refuse to do it because we feel like we have to be productive all the time. You have a minute between meetings sometimes, right? Sometimes I'm back to back and I got to go on. But even before I get on a meeting, I relax my body, I relax my shoulders, I take a deep breath. That person can wait 30 seconds so that I can work on my nervous system and I show up as a better coach. So I really encourage you guys to do that. Maybe your break has to be between work and family time. Maybe you can get home and you can go lie down with the lights off in your bed and take some deep breaths for 5 minutes. Go find a meditation on Headspace or on Calm and put on the meditation just for 5 minutes. You've got to take a little bit of a break in the middle of the day so your body trusts that you aren't going to be on the fast track. So throwing yourself into the ground and keeping you from having a more active lifestyle, a more joyful lifestyle, one where weight release is easy. And the other thing that you want to work on is your protein. We tend to go through the day snacking every 2 hours or something because we're trying to stay stimulated, and we completely forget that having adequate amounts of protein, particularly in the morning, is really beneficial for our energy levels so that we can sustain energy throughout the day. So I want you to think about being protein heavy in the morning, and then how can you get a palm size of protein both in your lunch and in your dinner so that you can maintain your energy levels throughout the day and you don't have crashes. And what else happens with that is that you snack less, you're less likely to have more sugar, less likely to have imbalanced sugar. When you don't have imbalanced sugar, your sleep is better. When your sleep is better, your energy levels are good, and your mood is better, your focus is better. It's all connected. But if your energy levels are the priority, focus on that protein in the morning and focus on getting a break in the middle of the day or doing some transition breathing, some transition meditation so that you can correct that part first. That's where you are going to begin. And finally, the last thing that you guys are going to do, this is the culmination of everything that I just said. Once you start with something and you start to put your puzzle together of where it is that you need to put your energy, the next step is to make a conscious choice. Making a conscious choice means that you know yourself so well. You know what works in your body. You know what doesn't work in your body. You feel like it's easy for you to make choices because it's going to fuel the best version of yourself that you want to be. And this is how I work with my clients. Then you are going to make conscious choices for your health that are going to lead you in that direction. It's super important that you think about that. I'm not talking about rule-based choices. I'm talking about conscious choices. Okay. So you do not have to fix all of those things I just said at once. And that's the problem with diets. They're like, here, fix everything in this way. But guess what? Instead of fixing everything in that way, you can work with me or on your own using the guide that I'll put with this live training on putting together the order of things that you could change to change your life, to change the way that you feel first. Because when we feel confident, when we know what we're doing is working from a feeling place, the rest of it falls into place. And that's why I wanted to teach you guys this today. And this is why I want you to follow through and come with me on the Q&A right after this live. Get the freebie that I'm going to give you that explains to you the 6 pillars without fad dieting, and book a call with me to talk about your unique energetic eating pathway that's going to help you get rid of this horrible thing that's laying over your head, whether it's the weight or the obsession or the back to fad dieting, whatever it is, it can be relieved. You just have to start in the right place. So I'll put that freebie down in the comments. For those of you who are here, I will put the Zoom link in the comments so that you can join me in my Zoom room and ask me any questions that you have. And then I will invite anybody who would like to on an empowerment call so we can find your first step. I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and it's been awesome being in here live with you today, and I can't wait to offer you more.